How's it going, guys? We made it. Another year of great movies, and I'm so happy to finally be able to talk about mine. This is my first top 10 movies of the year list officially. Last year, my first year on YouTube, I only did a top 10 superhero movies of the year because there were so many, and I didn't see enough movies in general, I guess, that year, but who knows. We are finally here with our picks. It was definitely difficult narrowing down this list. And keep in mind, when I say top 10 best, I mean not just what I think were the top 10 best movies of the year quality-wise, but also my favorite top 10. Just because I put a movie ahead of another movie doesn't necessarily think it's of better quality, but it may mean that it's of more personal significance to me, or it affected me more, or it just hit me, it just hit me better. So that's why it's top 10 best, but yet kind of favorite, a mix of that. Either or, stay tuned at the end of the list where I give some honorable mentions of movies that didn't quite make the cut, but were very close and I still enjoyed them anyway. So starting off, what we have, number 10, we have Star Wars The Last Jedi. This movie just came out a couple weeks ago. I really enjoyed it. It is getting a lot of backlash from true Star Wars fans because they didn't like the new directions the series was going. They didn't like the certain casino filler with the side characters. Regardless, I still really like this movie because it's great performances, the amazing visuals. I love how it succeeded and it felt like a true sequel to Force Awakens, although they kind of threw away some plot points that I was hoping to see were going to get a lot more attention. It still felt like I was seeing evolution of the characters we had in Force Awakens, so I gotta put my hats off to that movie as number 10 of my list. Number 9, we have the Lego Batman movie. Now, this movie was a huge surprise because although I really loved the Lego movie itself, I wasn't sure how they were going to just handle Batman himself, if he could carry his own movie. He really can. This movie is basically PG Lego Deadpool. It is a hilarious comedy. It is very funny because it is a spoof. It's really spoofing the multiple genres of Batman and versions over the years. And this movie did such a great job. It had an amazing voice cast. Will Arnett was hilarious as Batman. And this was one of those movies where I just wasn't expecting to laugh basically the whole movie. Hats off to Lego Batman at number 9. Number 8, we have Blade Runner 2049. Now, this is a movie a lot of people slept on this year. A lot of people it didn't make that much in the box office because the original Blade Runner came out in, 1982? It's a classic sci-fi that influenced a lot of the modern sci-fi and retro, the 90s and the Matrix and all that. So this movie, what I really liked about this movie is it felt like a true sequel to that. They followed up on the world. We got to delve deeper into this world of remnants and its parallels between what really makes a human a human. We brought back the character, the original Blade Runner, played by Harrison Ford in this movie. He gave a phenomenal performance. I loved Ryan Gosling as Kay. Jared Leto turned in a pretty great performance as well. But of course, the reason why this is at number 8 is because this is close with The Last Jedi, but this is clearly the best looking movie of the year. The visuals and the world feel so real. You're transported into this world. It feels tangible, and you're just immersed. The visuals are just gorgeous. Best looking movie of the year, and it comes in at number 8 on my list overall. Number 7, another recent movie I saw, Coco. It came out around Thanksgiving. Disney Pixar's take on Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, in Mexican culture. It's about a young boy who finds he's able to interact with his world of the dead. This movie hit me. It is just so heartfelt, amazing music, great voice cast, a great depiction of a minority that Pixar has not brought to screen yet, and just an amazing journey that we got to take with this little boy. Great time all around. Coco hit me in the feels. At number 5 or 6, because I can count. Number 6, we have Dunkirk. I saw this movie on opening day when it came out in the summer, and this movie has kind of, I wouldn't say haunted, but this movie is definitely, it surprised me because of how immersive it was with its practical effects. Christopher Nolan did such a great job with the practical effects in this movie, from the dogfight sequences to the gunfire that really got me jumping like every 5 seconds in the theater, because the sound mixing mixed with Hans Zimmer's masterful, very eerie score to draw up the suspense. This movie had me locked in from start to finish. It was a lot. It was only like 1 hour and 45 minutes, not even 2 hours, and it felt like over 2 hours because it just felt like an extended action scene. I was all in for Dunkirk. Definitely one of the best movies of the year, and coming in at number 6 on my list. At number 5, we have War of the Planet of the Apes. Wow, this was a trilogy I slept on before this movie, and it blew me away absolutely. I binge watched all 3 movies of the trilogy in one night so I could go see War on opening morning, and wow, was it worth it. The thing that makes this movie so great is that Caesar's character comes full circle. We finally see him as the powerful and wise leader, and he learns his past mistakes haunt him, and he learns from there, and he has to go out one last time to protect his family and his clan, and it is just such a well put together movie. The story is perfectly paced. It has an amazing score by Michael Giacchino, and the best thing by far is the motion capture work, once again captured by Andy Serkis. Get this man an Oscar nomination for Caesar. He was amazing in this movie. War for the Planet of the Apes coming in at number 5. At number 4, we have Baby Driver, the most fun I've had in a theater all year. Baby Driver was just so much fun, from its gorgeous cinematography and matching and its masterful use of diegetic and non-diegetic sound. Basically, we're always listening to the track that Baby is listening to, and they match up the beats with the gunshots. This movie is, not only is it very comedic, Edgar Wright is one of my favorite comedy writers today, and it's very smart and it's very fast-paced. There is not a dull moment, in my opinion, in this movie. I absolutely love Baby Driver. Very slick movie and a great all-around time. At number 3, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Wow, this was probably my most anticipated movie of the year, and it did not disappoint because I am such a huge Spider-Man fan, and this movie just hit me right here because of how well they captured the character. Tom Holland is the perfect blend of the nerdy Peter Parker that Tobey Maguire got and Andrew Garfield's cocky, more sarcastic take. He felt like a perfect blend, very lovable Peter Parker, an amazing Spider-Man. Michael Keaton was awesome as the Vulture. Wow, that scene, that one scene, I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen Homecoming somehow. Watch it, because Michael Keaton's awesome as the Vulture, one of the best hero-villain conversations I've ever seen in a superhero movie. This movie was awesome because they finally, as the title suggests, they finally brought the character home. At number 2 and number 1, I was flip-flopping, man. I was flip-flopping because I loved them both so much, and they both took me by such surprise. Okay, here we go. Number 2, we have Jordan Peele's Get Out. The social commentary, the comedy. I love this movie. Not only was it very funny, but it was so eerie. This is the most controversial movie. Not controversial in the sense that people don't know how they feel about it, and that controversial in that it gets people talking about what it means to be black in America, and that was so important. I love how this movie depicted race relations in America, from something like microaggressions to pandering to black people, as far as liberals who feel like, oh, of course I'm not racist, but they have secret prejudices that they're harboring. This movie touched on that perfectly, very funny, very scary in that how real, it's a horror movie in that it accurately depicts the horrors of what it can feel like to be black in America. This movie was amazing. My number 2 movie of the year. When I think about 2017, I'll just think of this movie, and of course, my number 1 pick, which is Logan. Hugh Jackman shines as Wolverine. He gives amazing performance of a broken, brutalized Wolverine who's just lost everyone he loves and just have seen some crap over the years. You really feel for his character. I think this movie has the most heart of any movie I've seen all year. Patrick Stewart gave an amazing supporting role as Charles Xavier. Daphne Keane, what an amazing introduction to film. She was amazing as X-23, one of the best child performances I've ever seen. And I just love the all-around, the brutality of the action. We finally got R-rated Wolverine. This movie, like Deadpool last year, is another game changer, and that shows. If you give us the right depiction of a character, regardless if it's R-rated, it will be successful. We will want to see it. They brought the character of Wolverine full circle. We got a great sense of finality with Wolverine's character. This is the perfect swan song to end Hugh Jackman's 17th year as Wolverine. Wow. 17 years in the role. Perfect send-off. As far as some honorable mentions, first of all, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, a pretty good movie. I laughed several times throughout. It was fun and all, but I felt like it was just in such a shadow, living in the shadow of its predecessor. I felt like the whole writing process of that movie was just, what do we do now? We gotta follow up on that dad subplot. And Kurt Russell was pretty enjoyable as Ego, but at the end, the giant CGI battle and the writing for the jokes got a little lazy. It just felt like a toss-around movie at some points. Another shout-out that I'm sure a lot of people may be surprised is not on my list is Wonder Woman. Everyone loved this. Everyone and their grandmas loved Wonder Woman. This movie was really good. I thought it was slightly overrated because I feel like it is just a DC reskin of Captain America the Winter Soldier. I loved Gal Gadot in the role as Wonder Woman. I loved Chris Pine, but at the same time, the worst villain twist I've ever seen in a superhero movie, along with the generic third act of a CGI superhero fight, just cluster mess of just a fight with just people punching each other, and it just didn't make sense, and it felt like a waste to an amazing movie. Wonder Woman definitely gets an honorable mention, though. As far as other superhero movies, we have Ragnarok. This is one of the funniest movies I've seen all year, but at the same time, it was at the expense of the drama. It couldn't handle a serious moment when it needed to be, so Ragnarok had me thinking about, it should have been better, but still, I enjoyed it. As far as the last honorable mention we have is Detroit, written and directed by the same woman who did Zero Dark 30. Her name is escaping me at the moment, but this movie shook me. This movie came out in August. It didn't get a lot of press release, but it basically is about the Algiers motel incident. Another very important movie as it comes to race relations. This movie is definitely brutal, and I would suggest watching it. It's tough to get through because of how graphic its depictions of racial brutality is, but I'd definitely say it is at least worth one watch. Alright guys, that is it for my list. Thanks so much for watching this list. I plan to get a top 10 worst movies of the year list as soon as next week or the week before. It's expected around the week of New Year's, if not the week after that. Thank you so much for watching all my reviews this year. If you're new to this channel and you like this content, please like the video, subscribe, share the word, give me comments. I love personal feedback, guys. I am Pac. Thanks so much for hearing my perspective, and I'm out for now.